So while I get eat up by these mosquitoes out here that just got sprayed full of poison, I am going to demonstrate really quickly for you guys Senawali, and then I'm going to transition over into double Senawali. But here's one thing that I want you guys to focus on really quickly before you start doing this is the basic 12 strikes of modern Arnis, because without understanding those 12 strikes and knowing how to put them where they go, learning Sinawali or double Sinawali or Redunda or any of the fancy drills that we do is going to be absolutely pointless, okay? Because those 12 strikes are your foundation, and without a solid foundation, what do you truly have? Okay? Now, once you get those 12 strikes and you know you have those 12 strikes, one of the things that you can do is start to play with moving them in different areas and trying to figure out what works for you. Now, how you get used to that and how you train yourself to start doing that is through drills such as Senawali. Senawali is a mixed combination of 4 strikes: number 1, number 2, and 8 and 9. Interesting combination, but if you understand and know those strikes very well, then you know that 1 and 2 are head strikes and 8 and 9 are what? Leg strikes, okay? So you're doing what? You're going from their head down to their feet. But are you going from one side of the head down to the bottom, or are you mixing that up as well? Well, actually you are. You're mixing up your numbers a little bit. So your first strike is going to be a number 1. This can go whether it's in your left hand or in your right hand. It's always going to be a 1. And the strikes that follow are going to always be the same whether you switch hands or not. Okay? So the order is very simple. Okay? So you're going to start with the number 1. From a number 1, you're going to drop immediately into a number 9 as you step off with your left leg. Okay? Now, from your number 9, you're going to go straight into a backhand to a number 2. From a number 2, you're just going to drop your stick on the other side for your number 8 strike. So if I step back so you can actually get a more better view of this, number 1, 9, 2, and 8. Now I know the video is a little bit dark, so that may be a little bit difficult for you guys to see, but I will make this in a little lighter view come later down the road, probably in class, okay? But just so you get the idea, okay? So I'm striking the 1, dropping down for my number 9, coming up for my backhand to a number 2. From the number 2, I'm not going to really take any step. I'm just going to come straight down in a circular motion for number 8 on the other side to crack their knee. Okay? So in a sense, you're going from the head down to the leg, then coming back up to the head and dropping down for the leg. It's a very simple combination, and it's also one that we use very well in several of our self-defense techniques, to where, you know, you're surprising your guy with a slap in the face and then breaking him down at the hips for a KO. You know, it just depends on how you see things and how you start to incorporate them into other systems that you may practice or may have practiced at some point in your lifetime. Okay? Now, from there, we're going to go over into double Senawali. Now, double Senawali is going to require 2 sticks. So once you feel that you have the 12 strikes down very good and you're ready to move on from your Senawali after you feel comfortable with that as well, I definitely recommend trying out double Senawali before you take your next step. Okay? Because double Senawali, if you practice with myself and my masters, will help you understand what we call brush strap strike a lot better, because the motions of brush strap strike and even redonda are exactly that. Okay? So, with most things that we do in martial arts, you have what we call a chamber. For chambering for your double Sinawali, you're going to have one stick at your hip on one side and your other stick standing straight up in the air. So very similar to the way that you're seeing me right now. If I were to switch sides, it's going to be the exact same thing. Now sometimes you're going to see people have their sticks like this, which I believe that leaves you open. I'd rather have it here. That way I can go immediately, just turn and step forward into my first strike, which is going to be a number one. Whether that's on one side or the other, it does not matter. Okay? From this position, I'm going to strike my one. Okay? Now note, this is double Sinawali. So, with that being said, we just previously did single Sinawali, so what is double? Well, double means you're doing it essentially twice, right? But you're using two sticks. So if I'm going from my one, I'm going to take this stick, I'm going to use it for my number 9. But noting, I do have this other. So it's going to do my number 2 and my number 8. So essentially, I'm cutting down the stick contact with each individual stick. So I'm basically cutting my 4 strikes in half between the two, but you're still doing the exact same thing. So 1, 9, 2, 8. Now you're set up in your chamber, delivering your next set. As such, okay? Now from there, since we do have a little time left, I will demonstrate redonda, but I do want you to practice wholeheartedly on your 12 strikes, getting those down, going into your Sinawali and your double Sinawali, and then later down the road, because redonda is very, very difficult to learn, and it's one I haven't practiced in nearly 2 years, so I'm not going to give you a detailed instruction on that because I haven't done it in so long, but I will show it to you at least. Alright, get ready for crappy redonda. Redonda has a different chamber than your double Sinawali, which is here. It's actually going to have both sticks, of course, on the same side, but they're going to be lined up like this. Okay, and I'm going to use the back stick for my first, and then the other just comes right behind it, and then it just makes this motion. Okay, so I step back a little bit, you'll be able to see it a little bit better outside of the darkness a little bit here. But redonda is simply, in so many words, chopping down at somebody's legs, if you can't tell that already. But it's a very, very fun little set to learn. And also, once you get really good at that, and also double Sinawali and single Sinawali, you'll do what we call a combination drill of all 3 of them together, which is freaking awesome to do, but a pain in the rear end to learn. But it will definitely test your skill level and cause you to speed up, crack your knuckles, and everything in between. But you'll definitely enjoy the experience, and I hope you can come join myself and the rest of my other students and my masters in class sometime if you're not even there already. So with that being said, definitely come by John Waite's Karate and Gymnastics and Childcare, and we'll definitely hook you up. Have a good night.